What's going on, guys? We have a fantastic, is that Italian?
Ciao.
Mortabello. Portobello?
There's mortadella.
Mortadella. That's like a
That's like a
salami.
meat, yeah.
We got a fantastic Italian recipe for you. So this is chicken Parmesan without all the carbs and super easy to make. Get your family involved, get the kids involved. This is gonna be really fun, down and dirty. And what we're gonna be doing is crisping up the chicken in the oven by baking it first once it's breaded before we actually add the marinara sauce and the mozzarella cheese. So you're gonna get a nice little crunch from the mix of the Parmesan and the almond flour before you even get any of that like cheesiness and sauciness. Let's get started. This is very easy and very Italian. And I think by default, I'm Italian now because Matt is half Italian, right? That's kind of how it works. And this is one of my faves. Mwah. So let's first get our breading mixture. It's gonna be 2/3 cup Parmesan to 1/3 cup almond flour. That's a nice ratio, eh? I'm just getting all of the countries involved. Canada, that looks good. Nice little mixture. And now we got our seasonings. We got onion. And if you check out the blog post down below, it'll have the exact measurements for all your ingredients. We've got some garlic. I like to go heavy on the seasoning. Oregano. This really makes it. Red pepper flakes. I'm not big on spice, so we're gonna go light with that. And then of course, we got some salt. So there's gonna be some salt in your marinara sauce as well as in your cheese, so you don't need to go too heavy on the salt. So now let's just mix it up, and we're gonna set that aside so we can get our wet mixture mixed up. So here we have 1 large egg. We're gonna do a nice splash of heavy cream. And the heavy cream makes this wet mixture thicker so that the coating really gets on all of that chicken. So now let's get our chicken sliced and diced, ready to go. And you're gonna want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees, so we have that going right now. And this recipe is for 4 chicken breasts. So I have 2 really big ones here that I'm gonna slice up. And this recipe will be a lot better if you have thinner cuts of chicken. So you can do like even chicken tenders and make just a bunch of them. You're gonna want a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Ideally, you're using a baking rack so that the chicken can heat evenly throughout on all surfaces and you don't just get like a wet, mushy bottom. But if you do not have a baking rack, that is totally fine. It'll be just as tasty and crispy all over except the bottom if you just lay it flat on a baking sheet. So all that's left to do is to get these coated. So we're gonna first go wet, get off some of that excess, go right to the crumbs. Don't forget to grease your baking sheet because that cheese will get stuck on you. There we go. Okay, so these are looking nicely breaded and coated, and you can see that we still have some of this mixture left over. So if you did have an extra chicken breast or 2, you could probably get those in.
I would sprinkle the extra cheese on top.
Okay, so Matt suggested so kindly while I was making these, you know, if your wife's away, you're not used to being in the kitchen, you're very lazy, you grew up drinking like just 2 liters and eating pizza while you're gambling, that's Matt's life. You might just want to put the chicken directly on the baking rack and then sprinkle it with this Parmesan mixture and no wet. I think this is a terrible idea.
It's easier and it'd be 80% as good.
I mean, I feel like we should just do that with one of the breasts that we have and prove how bad it is.
Okay.
Okay. Probably just go with this too. You wouldn't even have like a...
Probably, yeah.
Here we go. Matt's idea.
I would do a lot more, but that looks good.
Well, we have a lot. So version 1 and Matt's version. I'm not even gonna say version 2. It's just all Matt. Okay. So we're gonna pop these in the oven for about 20 minutes at 400 degrees, and then we're gonna pull them out and we will get our chicken Parmesan put together with our marinara sauce. I'll show you which one we're using. It's one of our faves. And then we've got some sliced mozzarella to top. All right, guys, there's our chicken. Nice. Ooh, yeah. And you can tell it's like super juicy still. Like it's moist looking still, which is nice. Oh, I forgot Matt's.
Looks pretty great.
I wouldn't use great, but yeah, it looks decent. So there's a couple different ways you can go at this point. If you want to do the easiest route, which I think we're gonna do here, is we're just gonna top these with some marinara sauce and cheese and then pop them back in the oven. But you can also get a baking dish out if you wanna do more marinara sauce, very cheesy, and then just pile these in and get your sauce and your cheese going. If we were having guests over or we needed a nice presentation, I would definitely put these in a baking dish so that they're just like not on this baking platter and we can like get them extra saucy. But just for the family, you don't need to go the extra mile. This is what we're using, which is one of my favorites. It's one of the low carb options out there, but there are several. If you just look at the nutrition, look at the ingredients, there's a lot of good options, a lot of cheaper options. This is pretty pricey. I think this was $8. So just be cautious of that. So we got our sauce going, and I like a lot of sauce. And we got some sliced mozzarella.
I would use provolone.
Yeah.
Better.
Provolone is a really good option as well, but I think mozzarella is like classic, whatever cheese you want. So we're gonna pop this back in the oven for another 5 to 10. We want that cheese to melt and the chicken to cook through a little more, possibly. I feel like it's done though. So we'll just pop it in. Once the cheese is melted, we'll pull it out and taste test. We got Matt's little chickie. And we got the real goods over here. Those look way better. I guess they look kind of similar. Okay, so let's give this a try. Pull off this big bad boy here. Yum. Oregano for some garnish. That's perfect. That's beautiful. Oh, so moist, like butter. That's nice. You can tell how tender the chicken is still. It just came out of the oven. This is risky. Oh my goodness. Oh, baby. Wow. This is so good. This is one of our best recipes by far. I feel like we're definitely going to be making this. So you got the cheese and the sauce, of course, but the chicken is just so tender. We've been doing our chicken in the air fryer lately just for ease, but oven roasted chicken or oven baked chicken is just so moist and so delicious. Using that heavy cream in the wet ingredient mixture and then the almond flour and Parmesan crumb topping just keeps all the moistness inside and it gives it such a nice fresh flavor. This is a phenomenal recipe. I highly recommend it. Should I try yours?
I mean, it's gonna taste the same.
The same? How dare you?
It might be just
Okay.
not as moist.
See, that's a challenge. Yeah, you can already tell it's not just as moist. Oh my God, look at the difference.
What?
That's so
You
dry.
can't really see it on camera.
Oh, it's dry. It's super dry. A lot more chill. 1/8 the amount of flavor. Yeah, you want the coating.
But if you're a single guy that doesn't know how to cook, this is a decent option.
This right here, make it. Link down below, blog post telling you exactly how to make it. But it's really easy and you can add as much seasoning as you want. You can kick up that spice. Again, you can do it in a baking dish and make it extra saucy, extra cheesy. This is just a home run family dinner, single person dinner, whatever you want to make it. Make this. I'm begging you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.